I need you to stop everything you are doing right now and listen to me very carefully, because the global financial system just blinked, and for one terrifying hour, it completely stopped. We have received confirmation of an event so massive, so manipulated, and so criminal that it makes the 2008 financial crisis look like a dress rehearsal for what is happening today. While you were sleeping, the paper silver market was subjected to the largest coordinated attack in history, an attack designed to wipe you out, steal your wealth, and hand it over to a single billionaire. We are not talking about a market correction. We are not talking about normal volatility. We are talking about a system failure that forced major exchanges to suspend trading to stop the bleeding. Welcome back to Red Alert Economics, where we expose the data that the mainstream media is paid to ignore. And today, the data proves that the game is rigged, and the rigging has just reached a breaking point. Let's look at the crime scene in China, specifically the Shanghai Futures Exchange. Reports have leaked confirming that a single entity, led by a billionaire named Bian Ximing, initiated the attack. On February 5th, in a single morning session, this entity dumped a nuclear bomb of paper contracts onto the market. They sold 674 million ounces of paper silver in a matter of hours. Let that number sink into your brain for a second. 674 million ounces. To put that into perspective, that is almost double the entire annual silver mining production of the planet. Think about the absurdity of what I just said. Think about the fraud involved in that transaction. It takes the entire world 2 years to dig that much silver out of the ground, with all the miners working 24/7. But these bankers, these criminals, they sold it all in one morning on a computer screen. They sold metal that does not exist. They sold metal they do not have. And they sold it to crash the price. And it worked. The price collapsed, wiping out trillions of dollars of value across the crypto and metals complex. Silver plummeted 47% from its highs, dropping from $73 down to $64 overnight. This was not price discovery. This was price destruction, a calculated warfare tactic. The report explicitly states that this decline was designed to ensure that a very small group of investors benefit. They wanted to crush the retail investor. They wanted to trigger your stop losses, and they wanted to steal your bags. But here's where the story gets even darker, and where the system failure becomes undeniable. The volume of selling was so abnormal, so violent, that the exchanges themselves couldn't handle it. We have a breaking alert from China that the UBS SDIC Silver Futures Fund officially suspended trading. They halted the market for 1 hour, claiming they needed to quote-unquote protect investors. But we know what that really means. Protect investors is code for the banks are losing control. When the casino pauses the game, it is not because they care about the players. It is because the house is broke, or the house is rigging the deck and got caught in the act. The Shanghai Futures Exchange immediately cracked down, banning 6 groups of linked accounts. They cited abnormal trading behavior. In official notice number 2026-37, they admitted it. The exchange itself admitted that the market was being manipulated by linked accounts, but the damage was already done. The price had already crashed, and the retail investor was already liquidated. Most of the late buyers, the people who bought in at $100, got obliterated. They watched their life savings evaporate in seconds, victims of a billionaire's short attack. But, and this is the most important but of your entire life, you need to see what happened next. While the paper price was crashing, while the screens were flashing red, something strange happened in the physical vaults. While they were selling phantom paper silver in Shanghai, they were withdrawing real silver in New York. Data from the COMEX shows that 3 million ounces of physical silver were pulled from the vaults in one day. This is the great heist. They use the paper market to smash the price down. And then, when the price is artificially low, they back up the trucks and load up on the physical metal. The report indicates that 100% of futures contracts are now settling physically. Compare that to the normal rate. Usually only 1 to 3% of contracts ever stand for delivery. This means nobody wants the cash anymore. Nobody trusts the paper promises. Everyone wants the metal. They are taking delivery of every single bar they can get their hands on. The COMEX inventory has dropped to critical levels, hovering around 400 million ounces. And if this drain continues, we are mathematically heading towards zero. So let me get this straight for you. So there's absolutely no confusion about what we are witnessing. A billionaire builds the biggest short position in history, betting against the success of silver. Linked accounts coordinate a massive paper dump, flooding the market with fake supply. The exchange calls it abnormal, bans the accounts, and shuts down the trading platform. And through all of it, through the crash, through the panic, through the suspension, physical demand did not flinch. In fact, physical demand accelerated. The world needs real metal. Solar panels need real silver. Missiles need real silver. Paper games have an expiration date, and we just saw the first sign of that expiration. The trading halt in China is the canary in the coal mine. It is the first domino to fall. If they can suspend trading in China, do you think they won't suspend trading in New York? Do you think they won't suspend trading on your Robinhood app or your ETF? This is why we scream from the rooftops. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. The paper market is a trap, and millions of people just got caught in it. The combined market cap loss across crypto, gold, and silver was $2.4 trillion today. $2.4 trillion gone, vanished into thin air, transferred from the many to the few. The COMEX letter called it one of those days that will be referenced for years to come. And they are right. History will look back at February 5th, 2026 as the day the illusion broke. The day the paper masters fired their last bullet. The 674 million ounce bullet. But here's the thing about bullets. Once you fire them, you don't have them anymore. They threw everything they had at the market, double the global production, and silver is still standing. It is bruised, it is battered, it is trading lower, but the physical market is tighter than ever. The premiums are exploding because the real metal is disappearing into strong hands. This was a warfare tactic, designed to shake you out, designed to make you give up. They want you to look at the chart, see the 47% drop, and sell in disgust. Because if you sell, they can cover their shorts, they can close their positions at a profit. But if you hold, if you refuse to play their game, they are trapped. They have sold 674 million ounces of silver that they do not have. Eventually, they have to buy it back, and when they try to buy it back, who will sell to them? The mines are tapped out, the recycling is tapped out, and the investors are waking up. This is the setup for the mother of all short squeezes. We are looking at a scenario where the price recovery could be instantaneous. One analyst predicts a full price recovery starting as soon as tomorrow. Why? Because the short attack was fake. It was artificial. It was just digits on a screen. But the shortage is real. The debt is real. And the collapse of the fiat system is real. While silver was crashing, the U.S. Treasury was quietly buying back its own debt. $2 billion of debt buybacks this week alone, trying to keep the bond market from imploding. They are printing money to buy their own debt, to suppress the yields, to keep the charade going. And they are smashing silver to hide the inflation that this money printing causes. It is all connected. The trading halt, the paper dump, the debt buyback. It is one giant, coordinated effort to keep the dollar alive for just one more day. But the billionaire Bian Ximing and his cronies made a fatal mistake. They exposed the lack of liquidity. They showed the world that the market breaks if you sell too hard. The suspension of the UBS SDIC Fund proves that the system is fragile. It proves that there are no buyers at these fake paper prices. There are only sellers of fake paper. This is a dangerous time to be an investor, but it is also the most profitable time if you are right. The people who bought the dip in 2008, the people who bought the dip in 2020, they made fortunes. This 47% crash is the same opportunity, wrapped in fear and panic. The smart money is buying, China is buying, the whales are taking delivery. Are you going to let a paper billionaire scare you out of your hard assets? Are you going to let a trading halt freeze you into submission? This is financial warfare. And in war, the first casualty is the truth. The price you see on the screen is a lie. The 674 million ounce supply is a lie. The only truth is the weight of the metal in your hand. The Shanghai Futures Exchange knows it. That is why they banned the accounts. But banning the accounts won't bring the silver back. The silver is gone. It is sitting in private vaults. It is sitting in industrial stockpiles. It is sitting in China. We are watching the great separation, where the East takes the metal and the West keeps the paper. And when the music stops, and it will stop, the paper will return to its intrinsic value. 0. Meanwhile, the metal will re-rate to a price that balances the massive demand with the non-existent supply. Do not be distracted by the volatility. Do not be distracted by the red candles. Focus on the flow. Focus on the vaults. Focus on the trading halts. When they lock the doors, it is because the bank is on fire. And right now, the silver market is burning down, and the arsonists are trying to flee the scene. We will continue to track Bian Ximing. We will continue to track the linked accounts. We will not let them operate in the shadows anymore. We have the screenshots. If you are holding silver, you are part of the resistance. You are part of the solution. Stay strong, stay liquid, and do not let them take your wealth. This is Red Alert Economics. Reporting from the front lines of the financial war, the system is failing. The reset is here. Be prepared. End of transmission.